Thank you so much for help. The relevance of the research is provided by high extent of development of modern economy of Ukraine in a combination with a lasting transformation. In the course of information of economy, the digital infrastructure at the different levels is formed. Necessary systems which are improved through implementation of new technologies and accessation and a common information space and created. Current trends of digital transformation of manufacturing enterprise for the purpose of increase in its competitiveness assume active introduction in a practice of digital technologies. Digital technologies become instruments of increase in effectiveness, performance, and efficiency of productions due to increase in the output and or reduction of the used resources. Digital transformation assumes change of a production system of the enterprise is a main auxiliary process which serve of technology quality control and the organization of work. According to the concept, the industry 440, production processes, structuring and services have to be digitized and integrated on the basis of mutual penetration of information technologies and the industry. Implementation of artificial intelligence leads to emergence of intellectual information technologies, which promotes change of organization structure of the enterprise, reduction of staff and reorientation of staffing in pursuance of new functions. At the same time, relevant there is a scientific and technical problem of definition of rational deployment of human resources with intellectual systems and realizations of effective forms of the organization of work and the combinations of human-computer interaction in a common information space. The majority of the existing research in this direction are conducted within development of collaborative industrial robots and integration of information resources. Success of the enterprise depends on effective use of modern digital technologies in the main directions of the activity. In process of information technology development, the need for use of innovative methods of management and the organization of productions increases. Universal distribution and implementation of digital technologies at the enterprises leads to change in process of making management decisions, planning, the organization of production of work. A digital transformation in narrow interpretation represents process of implementation of modern technologies in process of the enterprise. Transformation is at the same time directed to improvement of the existing processes and to creation of competitive advantages due to change the creation of new technologies processes in the enterprise. Use of digital transformation and new digital competitive advantages due to change the creation of new technological process in the enterprise. Use of digital transformation and new digital competitive advantages due to change and creation of new technological processes in the enterprise. Use of digital transformation and new digital knowledge is a key factor to effective development of production. Transformation assumes change of the main, the auxiliary and servicing process of the enterprise, a production system, technological quality control, operation planning of production activity, the organization of workers. Next, please. In modern conditions, the information economic, which realize of knowledge becomes the dominating paradigm of social economic development. The emphasis of knowledge as an essential resources of the enterprise significantly influenced organization structure of management, promotes emergence of network economy, the virtual organizations which in this regard improving competitiveness of economic entities at any stage of life cycle and effective management of human resources. Each of new forms and methods of its organization arises a key question. The situation in modern business is such that it is harder and harder to provide constantly increasing cost of labor and to reach not only performance of function and to stimulate activity of personnel which provide the notable growth of effectiveness to information economy, the necessary initiative worker who is was to increase in the competence and to innovative activity focused on the maximum if you excuse me, please, technical problems sometimes there are, because now I'm in Poland, in Białobelsk University. Excuse me, please. The situation in modern business is such that it is harder and harder to provide constantly increasing cost of labor and to reach not only performance of functions and to stimulate activity of personnel which provide the notable growth of effectiveness. To information economy, the necessary initiative okay, please, next slide, okay? Thank you. The efficiency of the youth intellectual potential is the highest. The enterprise owns the big intellectual capital. So the intellectual potential gains properties of economic category only in the course of attraction to economic activity. That it is in the course of transformation in the intellectual capital. We agree with opinion Sitnik that the concept of intellectual resources, intellectual potential, intellectual capital, intellectual property, which are closely connected among themselves. The given ratio demonstrates that intellectual resources are the primary source to the defining factor of development of the enterprise, and the intellectual property is a result of formation of the intellectual capital. It is established that the intellectual capital is the key instrument of achievement of competitiveness of the enterprise and is defined have set of human organization and information potentials. Next slide, please. Change slide, please. At analysis of the basic structural elements of the capital by what enterprise the company firm as its main components, it is possible to mark out the following forms of capital: material capital, human capital, structural capital, client capital. Under the material capital, in this case, it is offered to consider all that of tangible assets of the organization, including buildings, construction, the equipment. Please, the next slide. Generalization results, thank you for help, of a research of structure of the intellectual capital. It is possible to claim that practically all scientists allocate three the main components of the intellectual capital: human capital, structural capital, and client consumer capital. At the same time, each researcher in own way locates allocation of elements and relationship between them. The weak innovative activity in the spontaneous nature of structural and technological shifts, mainly under the influence of a global environment, cause a lack and indications of innovative development of the industry of Ukraine from work indications, formation in the industry of inefficient and technological structure. In technological structure is processing industry, the share of products of high-tech areas and an insufficiency of volumes of production with high added value is compensated by way of increasing its import, deepening an import dependence of national economic. For the last 10 years, the import share in the total amount of internal consumption of industrial output increased from 42.8% and to 47.6%. In 2020, machine building products from 77.7% to 94.9%, metallurgical from 35.9% to 39.7%, food from 17.6% to 21.6%. Today, later have developed non-material component is social products from strong post-industrial trends. It is possible to youth development of the country. The system of the following criteria is for this purpose used. First, social and economic criterion. It is if in the society of more than 50% the population in engaged in service industries, the post-industrial phase of its development came. If in society of more than 50 of population in engaged in the sphere of information and intellectual services, society becomes information. In the world believes that change in economy occur mainly after the specific weight of internet users begin to access from 10 to 15% the population of the country. According to this criterion, the USA entered the post-industrial period of the development in 1956 to 1960, the state of California, Silicon Valley overcame this boundary in 1910. The beginning of new century of the USA was met by the following structure of employment: 75% in the sphere of information intellectual services, 25% in production of goods that in the agricultural sector. Finland joins post-industrial society 20 years later than the USA. Ukraine, as well as the international community is in general, by this criterion, is at an industrial stage of development. The companies which ignore possibilities of World Wide Web will stop being competitive. The internet is data on buyers, suppliers and potential workers, and 90% of information on them were collection within the last 2 years. Next slide, please. Help me, please. Change the next slide. Thank you. The discussion concerning equation of transition to information society is conducted since the beginning of the 1960s. Still, it is as a scientific concept has to inform standard and conventional definition. Mark out only its main characteristics. More than 50% of the population are engaged in the sphere of information services. Growth rates of the information sector of economy surpass rates of development of economy in general. Wide use of information technologies and products of information sector of economy is everyday life. Creation form, information space, and availability to it all members of society. Welfare of members of the society, a bigger mature, depends on their education. Training becomes continuous process throughout everything life. The next, please, slide. On
I'm
the slide,
sorry, Mrs. Helena. I don't feel comfortable interrupting you, but please follow the time schedule.
Okay,
We
okay.
are breaking the schedule a bit, and I want to ask you a little shorter, a little faster, announce the main results of your research, because we
Okay.
have a lot of report waiting for you, for us.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Excuse me, please, that I take your time. I understand that there is limit in my time. Excuse me, please. Change all slides and I will finish my presentation. Excuse me, please. I ask you only to change all my slides, okay? And because our colleagues have to see all my information about this article, and I will finish. There are many interest graphics, a lot of statistics in my scientific article. Okay, I will finish. 11th slide, please. Open 11th slide, please. In the course of, thank you so much. In the course of the analysis of statistical data of number of busy workers at all enterprises of Ukraine for 2013 to 2022, monotonous trends of change of the trend for the analyzed time period, in particular in the section of the enterprises for their size, were revelated. For from the above stated table to we see that on a linear trend, the steady tendency to increase in total number of workers at larger, medium-sized and small enterprises of Ukraine is observed. However, the general tendency to increase in number of workers at medium-sized enterprises of the country proceeding from an indication of costs and personnel is watched a polynomial trend of the set order. We choose the forecast for polynomial model of the set order as the considered in model reliable. Thank you so much for attention. I will finish my talking.